Imagine yourself trying to engage your coaching community. You have group chats, but nobody responds, and your CSM, or if it is still yourself, you have to do all of the coaching. Here's how to fix that problem. If you don't know me, I'm Juan. I help coaches create delivery designs that help them scale without chaos and without bloating their teams. So, see, I used to have that. My Slack community in my exam prep coaching program was dead. Just for context, I had an exam prep coaching program for doctors that closed over 700 clients in Colombia. And I thought maybe they're not engaging because they are busy. But then I took extreme ownership and said, well, this is my fault, or at least is my responsibility. And I asked myself, what can I do to make this work? And after months, probably like 6, I finally figured it out. This is what you can do if you want an engaged coaching community. What does it mean, an engaged coaching community? It means a community that your clients would love to be part of, would keep, would prefer to stay in the community even if their time expired in the community, and a community that does all the heavy lifting for you, because people feel more confident asking questions over there than on private. And I know for some of you this could be counterintuitive, like, why should I want my clients interacting with each other instead of going to me or to my CSM? But it is like simply a matter of ego, right? The reality is, the less focused you are on delivery, the fastest your business is going to scale. Only if you're able to deliver. Because if your programs suck and you just close people, there will come a time in which you just can't sell, simply because your market is not receptive to you anymore. So the way I fixed it was with the URT blueprint, which is use, reinforce, and tag. The first one is use. You need to use your course modules to help your community engage. On the modules, I asked my clients to post on the wins channel. I had a wins channel on my community. I think that type of stuff is pretty basic. If you don't have a wins channel, you should have one. I hosted my community on Slack, and now my clients for the scalable delivery method are on Slack too. You should use Slack. Some people use Discord. I don't like Discord, to be honest. And you need to ask your clients on the modules to post on the wins channel of your community every small win they have. And that has to be line by line with what you're asking them to do on the modules. This was actually something that I spoke with a client of mine. I told him, like, hey dude, your modules are too conceptual. You're explaining too much concepts and less action. So that's a big thing. This will work only if your modules are created to take action, not to understand concepts. I'm not saying you don't need to explain concepts. I'm saying you need to explain them only when they are necessary to understand in order to take action. Okay? And then I made them realize no wins small. And that is only one example. Another example, which is actually not here, is I had a module on my program in which I taught some like keys for the people that passed. And one of those keys was to wake up early, to wake up early. And I noticed that my successful clients would wake up early. And the problem with that is if you ask people that is not used to waking up early to wake up early, it can generate some problems because you can preach all you want on the modules, but if you don't create an environment that shape your client's behavior that well, it won't work. And you need to understand that. And the faster you understand this, the faster you're going to get the results you're looking for in terms of delivery. So for this, I created a community which would be called in English like hash early birds, in which on the modules, again, getting back to this example, I asked my community to send a message every day as soon as they woke up to start their day. And now that is what happens. If you take a look at this, oh, this is my wins channel. If you take a look at this, you'll see these people are waking up. 1:23 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 3:28 a.m., 3:53, 4:43. And this was not because they had the initiative to do so, but because I asked them to do so. And then they engage with each other. And then they remember the people that wake up early, like them on the group coaching calls. And then they celebrate their wins. That is what happens. So these two are examples in which you can use your course modules to help your community engage. The second one is you need to reinforce. You have to celebrate your clients' wins. In general, you need to reinforce the behaviors you want. In this case, on your clients, but in other contexts, in your team members. Because if you're asking them to do hard stuff and you don't celebrate once they do with them, they'll feel only the bad part, the bad side. And since you're asking them to do things that will not have an immediate reward on them or for them, it is not going to be sustainable long term unless you reinforce that behavior. Because if you don't do that, in the future, they won't do what you ask them to do. But here's a caveat. It has to be, in this case, in the case of celebrating your client wins, on every single win. I've noticed that if you apply this framework, let's say, for a week, and then next week, people start engaging better. But that week, you start noticing people start to engage. You stop doing this. Next week, it'll get back to normal. That was what I noticed. So don't make your clients lose momentum. And this was something that I was thinking before yesterday, that if you want a community that is active every single week and that doesn't lose momentum, you as the founder and your team doesn't have to lose momentum. It's really important. So let's go with the third one, which would be tag. I actually discovered this not so long ago because I noticed that when someone would post a win and I would tag someone else, so let's say the person called X posted a win. what I would do is I would reply to that win tagging my client Y and telling him something related to this win. What I would notice is that the person I tagged, in this case Y, my client Y, would engage with both with me and with the person that posted that win, which would be X. And occasionally, people had the necessity to tag others too. So you have one person posting a win that made another person engaged, and that created a relationship between the two. And then, even if it is slight, and then more clients engaging with each other. This is all for this video. If you want me to send you a step-by-step guide on how to create an engaged community, just send me the word delivery on Instagram and I'll show you how. See you on the next video.